All right, Donald Trump is delivering his final speech before the caucus for tomorrow. Let's go right to it.
Thank you, fellas. Great people. They are great people. Thank you very much. That's a great group of people. You'll be seeing a lot of them. Sadly, not everyone is willing to put our country first. Here in New Hampshire, Nikki Haley has made an unholy alliance with rhinos, never Trumpers, Americans for no prosperity. Did you ever hear that? Did you ever hear them? Americans for no prosperity. I added the word no in. Globalists and radical left communists to get liberals and Biden supporters to vote for her in the Republican primary. You got a lot of Democrats voting for her. You have a crazy election. Let's all get out and let's vote for somebody that we want to run against. They want to run against because she's so easy to beat. If you look at the polls, Biden beats her by a lot. We cannot have that. We cannot have gone this far and let that happen. The people behind Nikki Haley are pro-amnesty, pro-China, pro-open borders, pro-war, pro-deep state, and pro-Biden. That's not too good. Rhino is right. Yeah, that's true. Thank you, darling. Appreciate it. She just gave me a very good idea, actually. Our movement is pro-borders, pro-jobs, pro-freedom, and it's really something that's very like common sense. 100% pro-America. It's very simple. We are the party of common sense, and that's what we are. You know, we're conservative, we're this, who cares? We're the party of, it's all about common sense. It's about strong borders, low taxes, great education, few regulations, and we had it all. We've never had an economy in the history of our country, we never had an economy so good as it was just a few years ago. We never had a better border, a stronger border than we had. The radical left Democrats are supporting Nikki for one simple reason, because they know that she's very easy to beat. And you see that with the polls that just came out tonight. We're beating Biden by so much, probably get indicted 3 or 4 more times by tomorrow. They're going to indict. They're going to keep indicting, and it keeps driving my numbers up. I can't figure that one out. But I believe she's not electable. Nikki Haley wants to charge the working class a 23% national sales tax. Well, and you know that. She wants to raise Social Security retirement age by approximately 10 years. Is that right? That's what, approximately. So you can labor until the day you die and then not collect a penny of the benefits that you really have earned and you've paid for. And if you're lucky enough to live past the retirement age of 75 under Nikki Haley's plan, and she wants to raise it. And remember this about now, she says, I would never do that. But politicians always go back to their first concept, to their first policy, to their first idea. They always do, and they'll go back to it. They'll go back to it as sure as you're standing here. And I'm sorry we got rid of the seats, but they didn't have enough room. And I heard we could have even done better, but the governor made it very difficult to get in. Does that make sense? You're governor. That's what the word is. Now, I don't imagine, because we have these rooms all over the place that are loaded up with people, but I hear they made it a little bit difficult. Nikki wants to gut. Oh, that's right. He's endorsing Nikki. You know, he ran for president. You know that. He just didn't have the courage. He didn't have the courage to announce it. He ran and ran and ran, and he was polling somewhere around Asa Hutchinson, or as I call him, Ada Hutchinson. Remember? Ada Hutchinson. So he was polling right around there. Then he decided not to run, if you looked at the poll numbers, but he never announced, didn't have the courage to announce. He wants to gut Medicare using the Paul Ryan that you talk about, rhino. That's a rhino. And it was a scheme that led to Democrat ads showing Granny being wheeled off the cliff, just being wheeled off the cliff. You remember that ad? That was not a great ad for us. With your vote for our campaign on Tuesday, so important, most important vote you're ever going to take or make. You can declare that the Republican Party is never going to go back to those days of weak establishment candidates who preach cutting Medicare and Social Security at home while they spend trillions and trillions of dollars on endless wars all over the place in countries that you've never even heard of and countries that don't want us. It's a terrible thing. We're never going back to the days of globalist rhinos who promised border security before the election, but do the bidding of their open borders and donors after the election. And we're never going back to any of the things that you see that are stupid things, very stupid things. They do very, very foolish things, costly and foolish, and so bad for our country. So if you want a losing candidate who puts America last, vote for Nikki Haley. But if you want a president who puts America first every single time, you're going to vote for Donald J. Trump, and you have to get out and vote. And as soon as I lift my hand from that beautiful Bible that we're going to use, a specific Bible, a very beautiful Bible, as your 47th president, and we're all in this together. You've been great from day one. You were so great in 2016. You were so great to me. Remember, we won by 21 points. We came in. They said, who the hell is that guy? And we won by 21 points. But I'll seal the border and we'll shut down the invasion of our country, number one. That's the first thing. And we will almost simultaneously, I would say, let that have one day, right, Al? One day. But we will unleash American energy like I unleashed it before, except this time we're going to keep it going because they turned it off. We will terminate every diversity, equity, and inclusion program across the entire federal government. And I will instruct the heads of ICE and Border Patrol to begin the largest deportation program in American history. We have no choice because this is not sustainable. Our cities are being choked. This is not sustainable. 3 years ago, we had the most secure border in the history of our country. We built 561 miles of border wall and got Mexico to give us 28,000 free of charge. You think that was easy? Not easy. 28,000 soldiers we had guarding our border, and we had the best border numbers that we've ever had. We had the safest border in the history of our country, and all Biden had to do is go to the beach and relax, okay? He was there anyway, but he'd go to the beach and say, let's dismantle. We had something called Remain in Mexico. It all worked. It all worked, and it worked well. Under Biden, the USA has been turned into a dumping ground to the world, just a dumping ground. On day one, I will terminate every single open border policy that crooked Joe Biden and his administration have put onto our country. So sad. To stop the deadly drugs that are poisoning our people, I will deploy U.S. Navy to impose a full fentanyl blockade on the waters and the region where they're coming in through certain channels. They're coming overland. They're coming any way they want to come. 12 times more than came in 4 years ago. 12 times more. Drugs are pouring in. And by the way, you have two very bad distinctions. You're the highest energy per capita. You're the highest by far energy anywhere in the country, number one. And also, you're the worst in terms of drugs pouring in. You have more drugs in New Hampshire per capita than any other state by far. Where is your governor? Where is your governor? The drug cartels are waging war on America, and we will destroy the cartels. You have no choice. That's an army. That's an army. They're trying to destroy our country, and they will destroy our country. And I'll use Title 42 to end the child trafficking crisis by returning all trafficked children to their families in their home countries immediately. Nikki Haley will never secure the border or stop the fentanyl. I know her very well. She worked for me for a long time. People don't realize I put her there because I wanted to make Henry McMaster. It's true. Yeah, you're right. I wanted to make Henry McMaster the governor of South Carolina. We did that, and he has been one of the best governors in the country. Doug will tell you that. But killing thousands and thousands of people. Nikki opposed my border wall. She fought us on the border wall. She got out and she fought us on the border wall. She condemned my strong border policies. And in 2016, she stabbed the Republican Party in the back by siding with Barack Hussein Obama. Have you ever heard of him? Have you ever heard of the gentleman? Against the Trump travel ban, which really kept us safe. You know, when I was there 4 years, I wanted to talk so much. We had no terrorism. We had no attacks. We had nothing. And we had the Trump travel ban, and we call it the terror ban, right? We wanted to stop terror from coming into our country. But I couldn't talk about it because I didn't want to do that. And then the following day, something happens. So I went 4 years keeping my mouth shut on that particular subject. But now I talk about it all the time. We had no attacks. We didn't have a World Trade Center. We didn't have the attacks like you've seen, and certainly that you see in other countries. And by the way, now we're getting involved again in the Middle East. Look what's happening. You're getting involved. Here we go again with the Middle East. We spent $9 trillion, killed millions of people, including our side, their side, millions of people. $9 trillion. You know what we got? Nothing. Nothing. You got death. You got blood. You got nothing. And it just, we spent our blood and our treasure, as they say, our blood and our treasure. And our blood is more important than our treasure. And it's a shame. It's a shame. I beat ISIS. You're right. Thank you for telling me that. You're right. I was getting to that, but it's very good. He's sharp, this one. Thank you. We did. We beat the hell out of ISIS. It was supposed to take 4 to 5 years. We got it done in 4 months, I'd say. 4 months. 100% of the ISIS caliphate. Biden and his thugs are desperate to stop us because we are the only ones, and they know that, who can stop them. And that's why they are weaponizing law enforcement and high-level election interference, the likes of which this country has never seen. We've never seen anything like what's happening with using the DOJ and the FBI to go after his political opponent. It's unbelievable. The good news is it's driven my poll numbers up. I mean, someday we're going to have to write a book about this one. But people understand. And, you know, I have a voice. I have a big voice, so I can speak about it. I can talk about it. I can talk about when they want to indict you and arrest you for election integrity. And, you know, they're still fighting on the 2016 election, right? It's okay for them. They're fighting still. They're fighting on the 2016. Same things, except much worse than they accuse our patriots. All we want is an honest election. Because if you don't have honest elections and strong borders, you don't have a country. Joe Biden is truly a threat to democracy for 2 reasons. Number one, we just said part of it, but number 2 is he's incompetent. And that's probably the biggest threat that we have, is his incompetence. This is only happening because we're leading big in the polls. If I didn't run, or if I wasn't leading by so much in the polls, but if I didn't run, or if I was in number 4 place where they're not too worried, none of this would be happening. None of this would be happening. In the new Redfield, thank you for saying that. That's very nice. In the new Redfield-Wilton poll, how about these numbers? How about these numbers? In the new Redfield-Wilton poll, it's Trump 72, Haley 9. In Nevada,
Let's look that up.
in Nevada, where we're going next, you know, actually, they think we're going to South Carolina. We're actually going to Nevada first. And we are polling there at roughly 100% because all of the other candidates looked at the polls and they decided we're not going to play in Nevada. So we get 100% of that vote, but nobody wants to talk about that. Then we go to South Carolina, respected pollster Tony Fabrizio, very respected. He has us at 64-25. That's not bad. You know, we're running against the governor, having it pretty good. We're leading in New Hampshire by a lot, but we take nothing by a lot. You're going to see it. I don't have to talk about it too much. You're going to see it tomorrow. The numbers, in my opinion, will be higher than what you're even seeing. And you're seeing very big numbers, but you got to go and vote. You got to grab everybody. You got to go and vote. You can't sit
So
back
the final
and say,
poll,
well, let's watch it on television. We need the
you
margins.
have Trump's
the margins
up
are very
22
important.
points.
We have to get out. We have to vote.
22
we have
points.
to show them in November what's going on here, because I don't think anybody understands. This is the single biggest political movement in history. It's called Make America Great Again. Joe Biden doesn't know. He says, we have to stop MAGA. But he doesn't know it means Make America Great Again. How do you say we're stopping MAGA? We got to stop it. Make America Great Again, Joe. We're going to stop America first. We're also dominating crooked Joe Biden in the general election. We're up 8 points today, 8 points in the very, very good Rasmussen poll. And remember, 8 points is a lot because, you know, they have an automatic base of about 39. It's sort of interesting. The Democrats have a base of 39 and Joe is polling at 32. So how the hell do you do that? How do you poll less But you know, they do. They have the advantage of, because they have certain groups. I won't go into the groups, but I think some of those groups, like unions, are going to be they're going to be with us. I believe a lot of them are going to be with us. So he's polling at pretty low numbers, actually. The radical left, Democrats, rigged the presidential election of 2020, and we are not going to allow them to rig the presidential election of 2024, because if they do, we will not have a country left. And, you know, I was thinking about the other day, I don't think I've said this before. I was thinking about this. If they didn't illegally mess with me, you've been watching it all this time, Russia, Russia, Russia hoax, all hoaxes. But if they didn't illegally mess with me, including spying on my campaign, changing election rules without approval by legislatures, stuffing ballot boxes, and then you had the intelligence agents falsely claiming that the laptop from hell was Russian disinformation. Turned out not to be. It was Hunt. That's another one. That's another one. That's another one. But think of it. I would now be rounding out my term. In other words, if they didn't do all these things, and I could name 10 more or more, I'd now be rounding it out. It would almost be over. But because they did mess with me, now they've got us and me for 4 more years. Think of it. We'll drive them crazy. Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it a great badge of honor. I really do. I'm being indicted for you. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Never forget, our enemies want to... 12 years of Trump. You're right. That's very interesting. Don't say that too loud. They'll start saying, he wants more. He's a fascist. You know, they love to call me a fascist. He's a fascist. The fascists are the people that will do what they're doing to a political opponent. Those are fascists, by the way. Those are the people that are a danger to the country. But never forget, our enemies want to take away my freedom, because I will never let them take away your freedom.
Looks like we have another protester.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's going home to Mom. Mom will say, darling, where have you been? Oh, I just went to a Trump rally. This isn't really a rally. This is a group of big, big rooms that are packed. But we wanted to get to this slice of your state. This is very important. We could have called, we could have said, you know, let's not go here tonight. My people said, you know, because it was very tough traveling. I said, there's no way I'm not coming here. We're going to get all these beautiful people. They want to silence me because I will never silence you. Remember this, they will never, they want to silence me so badly. They have worked to do whatever, but I will never let them. Think of this. I will never let them silence you. They want to silence you. They really don't care about me. They want to silence you. In the end, they're not after me. They're after you. And I'm just standing in their way. I just happen to be standing in their way. I want to, if I might for a second, we have incredible patriots. We have great people in the party, and you have great people in the other party too. Not too many of them. But I want to introduce just a few, if I could. A young star. He's going to get bigger and stronger and better, and you can't get much better than he is right now. Congressman Byron Donalds, a friend of mine. And where is he? He's around here someplace. Byron, if you're there, come up. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. The First Lady of North Dakota, Catherine Burgum. Catherine, if you're there.
All right.
Look,
so
good.
Trump is doing fan service to his constituents, and they're going to come up, and I'm sure they're going to, you know, vigorously promote him. But Trump has, let's face it, he's dominated the polls, you know, and congratulations to him. Congratulations to him. All indications seem to be that it's going to be a blowout tomorrow. The only question is, and this is a big question, is what happens after tomorrow for Nikki Haley? If Trump wins by 20 points, which it looks like that's what it is, let's be fair. He's up a little bit over 20 points now, but things happen. They may not be polling the independents. They may not be polling the Democrats that's going to come in and maybe be, vote in that Republican primary. So you don't know. You don't know if he is going to win by 19, which is probably the bar. That's probably the lowest that he's going to get, or more. Now, here is the big question that's on the floor. What happens if Haley overperforms? What happens if she comes in and not win it, but get within single digits, lose by 9, 8, 7? Now, because Haley has overperformed, now she has a real opportunity to say, hey, listen, I'm in this race. I am in this race, and I'm in to stay. So this is the big question for Donald J. Trump in the Republican primary. Is it really a two-persons race, or is it Donald J. Trump? We will know tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be very consequential, and we're going to cover it from when the polls close until the acceptance speech. So we're going to cover everything tomorrow. Until then, as always, salute and stay grinding. I'm going to see you guys next time. When the polls close, that's when we're going to come on and we're going to give analysis. We're going to call balls and strikes. We're going to see who won, who lost, and what's next for the candidates. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. If you like content like this, please like and subscribe. Salute.